Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by again, and if this is your first time on this channel, you're absolutely welcome. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my content. And in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this dress with extended peplum and continuous sleeve. And without further ado, let's get started. And right here guys, this is the material that we're going to use for this tutorial, and this is an Ankara material, okay? And I use around 6 yards for this dress because after making the dress I was left with just a little piece that is going to be used for scarf. All right, and to get started we're going to be working on the lower part, which is the skirt part. And to do this we're going to do a little bit of calculation in order to know the exact amount of fabrics to cut out. So right here, the first thing we need is our waist circumference, and for this tutorial the waist circumference is 33 inches, and we're going to add 2 inches for zip allowance, and in total that is going to give us 35 inches for the waist circumference. Another thing we are going to get is the skirt length. All right, and for this tutorial we're going to be using the skirt length of 33. And right now the next thing we need to do is to get the radius for our flare skirt, and that is going to be waist circumference divided by 3.14, which is a standard. All right, and in this case the waist circumference is 35 inches divided by 3.14. that is going to give me 11 inches. And having done that, in order to know the exact amount to cut on our fabrics, we are going to go ahead and add our radius plus the skirt length. And in essence our radius is 11 inches plus 33 inches, which is our skirt length, and that is going to give us 44 inches. All right, and this 44 inches we are going to go ahead and cut on fold. And right here on the fabric I'll just go ahead and measure 44 inches like so, and I'll make sure that I have it in 2 places, meaning that we're going to go ahead and measure 88 inches altogether. And right here, as you can see, it is folded into 2, and when you measure it you're going to have the 44 inches. Okay, and right now the next thing we need to do is to fold it in a triangular form like so. And after folding it into a triangular form, the next thing we need to do is to go ahead and place our tape measure at the peak here, and we're going to go ahead and measure our radius of 11 inches all around. And having done that, the next thing to do is to cross-check that we have the exact waist circumference divided by 4, all right, which is the 35 inches divided by 4, all right. But what I have here is bigger than that, so what I will do is just to go ahead and come up by ½ an inch like so. So having done that, I'll just go ahead and cross check again, and right here I have the exact waist circumference that we need. And the next thing to do is just to go ahead and get the skirt length. So I'll just go ahead and place the tape measure at the peak again, and I'll start marking 44 inches, which is the radius plus the skirt length. All right, remember what we did on the calculation, so I'll just mark that all around. And having done that, I'll just go ahead and cut off the excess. And right here we have our skirt, and I'll just go ahead and place it aside, and we're going to work on the upper part. And for the upper part, we're going to be drafting on the pattern paper. You can also go ahead and draft directly on the fabrics, but for this tutorial I'll draft it on the pattern paper. And the first thing I'll do is just to go ahead and indicate the start line. And having done that, I'll go ahead and also indicate the half length, which is 16 inches in this case. And up next I'll indicate the bust point. And lastly, I'll just go ahead and also indicate the chest line. And so right here we have the chest line, here is the bust point, and right here the waistline, and up here we have the shoulder line. And right now we're going to come to the shoulder line here and indicate shoulder divided by 2 here like so. Okay, and having done that, we're going to repeat the same on the chest line here. And right now we're going to go ahead and connect the points together on the straight line like so. And up next we're going to create the neckline, and I'll be using 3 inches by 3 inches, and I'll go ahead and connect the point together to form a round neckline. And up next I'm going to come down by 1 inch here, and I'm going to connect it to the neckline in order to get our shoulder slant. And up next I'll come to the waistline and get the nipple to nipple measurement of 4 inches, and also do the same on the bust point. Then I'll connect them together on a straight line like so. And the next thing to do is just to go ahead and mark half an inch on both sides like so. And on the bust point I'll come down by 1 inch. And the next thing to do is just to go ahead and connect the dart legs to this point here. And having done that, I'll come to the chest line here and get the bust circumference divided by 4. It is 10 in this case. And on the waistline, I'll also get the waist circumference divided by 4. And I'll also return the dart intake. Then the next thing we do is just to go ahead and connect the points together like so. And the next thing to do is to go ahead and draft our continuous sleeve, all right? And I'll just go ahead and extend this slant line downward like so. And up next from here, I'll just go ahead and mark 3 inches. You can do more than 3 inches if you want. And the next thing to do is on that point, we're also going to come down by 1 inch. And having done that, we're going to connect from this point to this new point using the curvy part of our ruler. This is to ensure that the sleeve is well relaxed and follows the natural slope of our shoulders. And right now we're going to form our armhole, connecting this part to this part, all right, using the curvy part of our ruler like so. So here I wasn't very satisfied with this curve, and I'm trying to see if I can highlight it more, all right. And right now the next thing to do is just to go ahead and cut out this pattern. And right here we have our front piece, and I'll just go ahead and label this pattern. And having done that, the next thing to do is just to go ahead and cut the back piece. For the back piece, I'll first create the zipper allowance of 1 inch. Having done that, I'll also go ahead and indicate the start line. And right now, to make things easier, we are going to go ahead and place the front pattern like so, and we're going to be tracing the shape out. And after tracing the shape out, this is what we have. And the next thing I'll do is just to go ahead and extend the chest line. And right now, the first thing I'll do is to come to the zipper allowance here, and I'll come inward by half an inch, and I'm going to link it upward like so. And I'm just going to go ahead and shade off this part, okay? And this half an inch we took just now, I'll replace it at the side like so, and link it upward like so. And I'll place my tape measure on the remaining half an inch left for the zipper allowance, and I'm going to mark 1 inch. And from that 1 inch, I'm going to indicate the nipple to nipple measurement of 4 inches. And next on that point, I'll just go upward by 6 inches in order to create our dart. I'm just going to go ahead and create a straight line on that 6 inches point. Then I'm going to link it like so. And on each side, I'm going to go ahead and mark half an inch like so. And next, we're going to connect the dart legs. And up next, I'll just come down here and come upward by 1 inch, and I'm going to slant it towards the side like so. And this is because the half length for the back is always shorter than that of the front, okay? So I'll just go ahead and shade this part. And for the back neckline, I'll just come down by 1.5, and I'm going to go ahead and create the neckline. And up next, we can just go ahead and cut out the pattern. And right here, the back pattern is also ready. The next thing to do is to use this pattern for both the front and the back to cut on the fabrics. And right here, guys, that's exactly what I have done. And right here on the neckline, I added half an inch. On the shoulder, I added half an inch. And for the joining allowance also, I added half an inch. And for the side seam, I added 1.5 inches, okay? And as you can see here on the armhole, I didn't add any allowance. I forgot to do that. When you are cutting yours, go ahead and add half an inch joining allowance on the armhole. And as you can see on the front piece, I also did just the same thing, all right? And also I went ahead to cut lining piece for both the front piece and that of the back piece. And up next, I'll go ahead and align the lining piece and the main piece together like so. And we're going to go ahead and stitch the neckline, the armhole, and also the sides. And I'm going to repeat the same process on the back piece. And right here, guys, that's exactly what I've done. I've gone ahead to stitch the lining on the main fabrics, and I also went ahead to take in the darts. And I also repeat the same process on the back piece, as you can see right here. And right now, the next thing to do is to go ahead and join the shoulders together, all right? And in order to make sure that we have a very clean finish, what I will do is just to go ahead and place the back piece and the front piece together like this, and I'm going to be putting one inside the other like so, all right? And having done that, I'm going to dip my hand inside here like so, and I'm going to bring both of the shoulders out. And having done that, we are going to arrange it carefully and align both of the shoulders neatly, okay? And having done that, the next thing to do is just to go ahead and stitch. And right here, guys, that's exactly what I have done, as you can see. And this is what it looks like on the wrong side. As you can see, it is very neat and the raw edges are not showing. And right now, the next thing we're going to do is just to go ahead and align both the front piece and the back piece together. And we are going to go ahead and stitch the side using the remaining seam allowance. And right here, that's exactly what I've done. I've gone ahead to stitch the sides, and right now I'll just place this aside. And up next, we're going to work on the extended peplum. And right here, this is what is left of our 6 yards. And what I will do is just to go ahead and fold it into 2 like so. And right here, as you can see, the fabrics is folded into 2. And what I have on this fold right here is around 29 inches. And right now, the next thing to do is to go ahead and divide your waist circumference by 4. In this case, it is 33 inches divided by 4. It's going to give us 8¼ and I'll just indicate that right here. And I'll just go ahead and measure what I have left after the waistline, and here I have around 21 inches, and this 21 inches is going to serve as our extended peplum, all right? And for the extended peplum, you can do more than 21 inches if you have enough fabrics, or you can just go ahead and join it. But I don't want joining, so I will just manage what I have right here. And if you want the extended peplum to be the same length as your skirt, all you need to do is just to measure from your waist to your skirt length, and whatever you have there is going to be the length of your extended peplum, all right? But here I'll just stick to 21 inches. And having done that, the next thing to determine is the length of the peplum. For this tutorial, I will use 8 inches, but I'll just go ahead and add 2 inches as allowance to that, and that is going to give me 10. So for the length, I'll just go ahead and use 10 inches, and I'll just mark that on a straight line like so. And I'll just go ahead and cut it out. And having done that, I'll also notch the center like so, all right? So this is going to serve for the front peplum, all right? And we're going to go ahead and also cut for the back, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and place the front piece on the remaining fabrics, and I'm going to trace it out. So here we have the peplum for the back piece, and I'll just go ahead and cut it open. And having done that, I'll also go ahead and indicate 1 inch zipper allowance on the peplum for the back piece, okay? And right now, I'll just go ahead and place the front piece after the zipper allowance like so. And I'm going to cut the excess that we have on the front piece. And so right here guys, because I'm using a small Ankara which is lightweight, I'm going to go ahead and line this peplum. If you are using that woven material that is used on the style inspiration, you don't need to line it, all right? Or if you are using any structured material that is thick, you might not need to line it, but this material is light, so I'll just go ahead and cut lining piece for both the front and the back peplum. You can also go ahead and iron interface on it if you have. It will make it more structured. So right here guys, after cutting the lining piece for it, I'll come to the zipper allowance here and I'm going to go ahead and notch it. And having done that, I'll go ahead and measure quarter of my waist circumference again, and I'm going to indicate that part and also create a notch there. And here on the front piece also, I will go ahead and notch it. And the next thing to do is just to go ahead and open it up. And we are going to align both pieces, right side facing right side. And having done that, right from the notch part, we are going to go ahead and start stitching all around like so. And in the case where you are not going to line the peplum, just go ahead and fold, then stitch all around instead. And right here guys, I've gone ahead to stitch the lining on the peplum, as you can see right here. All right, and this is the part where we are going to be connecting to our waistline. Okay, and I repeated the same process to the back piece. And right now the next thing to do is to pick up the upper part, and we're going to open it up like so, and we're going to pick the front peplum. We're going to align it to the center of the upper part like so, and we're going to stitch it all the way to the joint part here. And after stitching the front peplum, we're also going to attach the back peplum. All right, from the zipper allowance, we're going to go ahead and stitch all the way to the side joining. And right here guys, that's exactly what I've done. I've gone ahead to join the peplum to the front piece, and I stopped at the side joining, and I also repeated the same process to the back piece. From the zipper allowance, I stopped at the side joining, as you can see right here. Okay, and this is what the peplum looks like right now. And the next thing we need to do is just to go ahead and attach the skirt part. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the upper part like so, and I'm going to place it this way. And up next, we're going to align the skirt part to it. Okay, make sure to align it correctly so that the center of the skirt aligns to the center of the upper part. Okay, I'll just go ahead and pin the centers together like so. Okay, and the next thing we want to do is just to go ahead and stitch together all the way. And right here guys, that's exactly what I've done. I've gone ahead to stitch the skirt part to the upper part, and now we have our dress. All right, and the next thing we are going to do right now is just to go ahead and attach the zipper to the back and also close the rest of the back. Okay, and having done that, we're also going to go ahead and fold the hem of the dress. Right here guys, that's exactly what I've done. I've gone ahead to fix in the zip, as you can see right here, and I also went ahead to fold the hem of the dress. And right about now, our dress is ready. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Please give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful, and subscribe if you are yet to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next tutorial.